Today I'm going to give you an interesting perspective on how social media works on your brain and how you can use some of these methods to either improve your content or get a realistic perspective as a media consumer. I'll be doing this by diving into cognitive ease, the illusory truth effect, a global $7 billion weapon against our brain, and the $60 billion mind trap that productises your attention. So first of all, cognitive ease. When I talk about cognitive ease, also known as cognitive fluency, I'm talking about information that is optimized to suit our brains as best as possible. It's the opposite as cognitive strain, where the consumption of information is hard to process and requires us a lot to think. For example, there are aspects in a video that make it easier for us to watch and follow along. Things like the right contrast ratio and cutting every few seconds and other smooth audio-visual triggers keep us engaged and make sure the information we see is easy to consume and understand. The same works for the interface of your phone. Smooth swiping and faster load times combined with a logical interface will better suit our brain. More cognitive ease keeps us around. Now this is an iPhone. And next to it being a very functional tool that only costs $700, it's also a $7 billion weapon. Let me explain. For you, this costs around $700, so it does for a few million other people. Now in this case, Apple invested $7 billion in research and development so that you get the most cognitive ease out of using this device. It is essentially designed to keep you hooked. And this is so important to them that they spend a big chunk of their budget on it. $7 billion, if not more. And then this is Instagram, an app that you can download for free. And next to it being a great free social media platform, it's also a $60 billion mind trap. Yup, they invested $60 billion making sure you get as hooked as you can on their algorithm. Facebook's main priority is to keep you on their platform as long as possible and keep you coming back as often as possible so they can make the most money. So that means half of the population being sucked into their phones for 4 hours a day, mindlessly scrolling, isn't a coincidence. It's extremely well executed design. And when I look at how people use these platforms nowadays, it's as if everyone has removed their locks from their houses and criminals are actively robbing your house, you're watching them, and you're choosing to do nothing. In fact, you find it amusing to watch all of your value being taken away from you. And if you haven't guessed, the house is your brain. And the stuff being stolen is everything you have inside of it. You are the product. And one of the things I'm most concerned about is not just your 4-hour-long screen time. It's the moment and state of mind you're in while consuming media on your phone. Okay, if it's not clear, no worries, let's break it down. You come home, 6 p.m., long, intense workday. You're tired, sit on the couch, want to be entertained, and sit on the phone for 90 minutes consuming content that is perfectly optimized, tailored, and intentionally edited to trigger your brain's dopamine production, which keeps you prisoned to your phone. You're tired, not alert, and your guard is down. And the things you're watching are not trustworthy since they're algorithm selected. It's not as if you're intentionally searching for something and being aware of what you see. No, you're sucked into your little black hole, and contrary to what you might think, it's not just the manipulated fake news you need to be careful about. Any piece of information you consume may be presented in a funny way, in a convincing way, or maybe as a Trojan horse to enter your brain, unguarded for a few hours a day. This happens. With this being the things that work, can you imagine how much your beliefs and opinions are manipulated? It's not hard for the mainstream media to shape your thinking when you literally give them all access to your brain. They can plant seeds with text, words, pictures, and smart editing to streamline you towards a spot-on advertisement without you even realizing it. Guard yourself by being intentional with what you watch. Don't let an algorithm dictate your life's interests. Remember, our brain chooses the easiest way to process information. This makes us human beings immensely biased. And the algorithm doesn't care, it will simply feed you more of what keeps you around. Which is fine, but only if you realize it. Multiple studies show that human beings believe things more quickly the more times they hear, see, or smell it, even when the things they hear have absolutely no meaning or logical reason. It's called the illusory truth effect. And this doesn't only work for information we consume, this also works for anything that we see, taste, and hear. I mean, brown chemical sugar water doesn't really seem like a good and tasty thing we should put into our bodies, but still, Coca-Cola is the best-selling drink on the planet. which means we get more tolerant of the things we are exposed to more frequently. This proves that our brains are entirely programmable and that your feelings are not reliable. And since we've just learned about the illusory truth effect, it also explains what I'm going to tell you next. Everything is created for cognitive ease. Things as more contrast in the video, certain colors of text, and retention editing are things to ease the brain. Easing the brain makes any piece of content more trustworthy. It sort of puts the brain in relax mode and tells everything that we see is okay. Our guards are off and we accept what we see. And social media companies know this very well. That's why Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok algorithms give you more of what you want. It steers you. And for them, it doesn't matter which direction or narrative you follow as long as you're addicted. Remember, you're not just holding a $700 device with a free media platform. You're holding a $1 billion program designed to capture your attention, which is exactly what they sell. You are the product. And big companies are doing very well at it because 41% of the world's 4 to 18-year-olds use TikTok. That's almost half of our future generation being penetrated with this new self-affirming media method. Everything is already capitalized. The land, the food, the buildings, everything apart from one thing, your mind. And they're coming for it, so act different. And for all the content creators out there, this doesn't mean you can't create content. Just don't be like the rest. Be transparent, be honest, and put value first. Because it's very important you realize that publishing content is now more competitive than ever before. At the same time, the audience is much larger and they consume for much longer. And then the algorithms being able to distinguish good content from bad content and using that indicator determining whether the platform should push your video or not is a very motivating factor for people to create good and interesting content. So if you're planning on making any videos, better make them good, because Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube will find a better video to show your audience if you won't do it. The value equation I use for my videos is very simple. The duration of my videos need to give more value back than the time taken from the target audience. If you have any questions about this subject, shoot it in the comments. Bye.